How do you write somebody up or fire them if you're a first-time manager or leader? I'm going to go through the easiest process that I've ever used and share some tips that I think will help anybody that's in this position. So let's say you just got promoted to be a team lead, or you're a first-time manager, or maybe you've just had to let people go and you're really uncomfortable with this. Well, I have been a person that has been in HR for over 20 years in all kinds of roles as I progressed in my career. And this process is never fun. It's never fun for anyone that has to do it or experience it on the other side. Let's get that out of the way first. But it becomes much easier if you get to a couple of tools that are, after a lot of trial and error, really the most effective way to do this. So number one, the best policy in order to write people up or let them go is what's called progressive discipline. The reason that you want to have progressive discipline is while in America, most employers are at will, having documentation that you tried to turn somebody around if they would fire a wrongful termination lawsuit, if they said that you discriminated against them, if they said that your treatment of them was in any way unfair, will help protect you as the manager and the company when you have to let somebody go. And so you're just trying to do your job. You're just trying to feed your family and get paid yourself. So you don't want to have to get in trouble because, Bob kept showing up late and you had to write him up and eventually let him go. So let's work with Bob here and see if we can fix this. So the first step in a progressive discipline program is a verbal warning. And so, the order is going to be verbal warning, written warning, and then termination. So the verbal warning is where you're going to set a meeting on the calendar with the employee. If you just go grab them raw, that's very, unprepared for them, say, hey, I need to have a meeting with you Tuesday, the 21st at 10 a.m. In my office. Give yourself some time to be prepared for this. Write up ahead of time on a form first of all, the things that Bob is doing well and the things that he's not doing well. And it doesn't need to be more than 2 or 3 each. The reason for that is because if you only go to someone, if you only give them bad stuff, how do they feel they can come back for that or have any value or any worth to you as an employee? They don't. So let's make this real, just like, you were talking to your partner, you were talking to, a family member that you cared about. And let's talk about what they're doing well and what they're not doing well. So first you're going to start off and you're going to say, Bob, you're doing great at A, B, and C at the company. And we really appreciate all your effort around that. However, on D, E, and F, and now this language is very important, listen to this. On D, E, and F, we are not on the same page. The reason we are not on the same page fits so well and works so well in this circumstance is it doesn't make them feel like they're a piece of garbage. It's like, you talked about some things I do good. Here's some things I need to fix. You're going to send them now with this write-up, have them sign it if they will. If they don't, just put would not sign and initial it. But this is the very important next step where people go wrong. You're going to calendar exactly 30 days forward from that date. So today, it's the 22nd. We're going to say we're going to meet on the 22nd of next month, and we're going to see how your progress is. Please, please, please do not write somebody up and then never follow up with them. That's a terrible feeling. If they put all this effort into fixing everything and you never tell them that they're off the write-up and they're doing good, how terrible does that feel? They're not going to stay long-term for you. You spent all this money recruiting them, training them, investing in them, and they're just going to leave. You don't want that as an employer. So that's the thing you have to realize is like, getting somebody in there and setting that for 30 days forward, you got to have a follow-up with them. Now, the follow-up's going to go one of two ways. So you said 30 days later, you're going to talk to them, right? So what's your job now as the manager? Well, realize already you've made a mistake, or someone has made a mistake along the way because either they were not interviewed well, they were not vetted well, or they were not trained well, they were not chosen well to get to this point. Because most rational and normal people, if you give them instruction at work, can adjust to be able to do a good job. At least 80% of people. So the 20% that can't, yes, they can be outliers, but really there's probably been a mistake made along the way somewhere. So take ownership for that. If you're in leadership, you have to take ownership for everything, even if it wasn't initially your responsibility. I've got this person, it's not working out. It's my responsibility to fix them. So you have 30 days now. You set this for 30 days forward. In that 30 days, I want you to do everything you can to coach, direct, build up, and tell them what they're doing well. Do everything you can to turn them around in 30 days. And then you can say, that person is a success story. That person I turned around. And at the end of that 30 days, if you in your heart feel you did everything you can and that person is still downtrending, is still not improving, then you've got to do the written warning at that 30-day point. So you sit down with them and you say, Bob, you're still doing great at A, B, and C, D, E, F. You have continued to slide on, and this has not been a progressively, forward-moving situation for you and for the company. I'm going to give you a couple more weeks to try to turn this around and get it going the right direction. This is really your opportunity to jump in and make a big change right now. We're going to have another meeting in 2 weeks, and by that time, I need these issues to be under control and fixed. So then right there with them sitting there, you're going to set the meeting from the 22nd. You're going to go forward. Maybe it's the 7th. You're going to say 2 weeks forward. We're going to have the follow-up meeting to this. Now, if they make a Herculean effort and they start to see good progress and they turn things around, you can tell them, okay, we're going to meet again. Maybe you set it out for a month forward from that, but you don't have to. If you know that you got to the point of a written warning and you're going to set it 2 weeks forward from them, remember, we're only 30 days into this discipline. The first day, we did the verbal warning. We went forward 30 days. We're at the written. You set a meeting 2 weeks forward from that, right? So at that time, if you know this is not going to work out with this person, at the end of that 2 weeks, you have that follow-up meeting and you let them go. Now, if you look at the speed of this, that's only 6 weeks. 6 weeks is very fast to let somebody go. Most companies do PIPs that take 3 to 4 months. It's a waste of time. Progressive discipline is the most effective. So verbal, 30 days, written, 2 weeks, term. See how easy that is? Very simple. Now, if you keep going through this cycle over and over with multiple people, at some point it becomes your management that's the issue because you're not able to help people turn things around. Your job is also to coach up, not just out. And if your company's paying attention, they should pay attention to your retention as a manager. And if you have very poor retention, that's a sign you're not a good manager or you need to work on your management skills. So what I will tell you is that when you let somebody go, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Now, this is unfortunate to say. You can let somebody go in 5 minutes or you can let somebody go and take an hour. They are going to be in their feelings if you let them go. Of course, it's natural. I would be, you would be. It's normal. But if you are talking to them and talk about all their feelings and how they feel about this and what they're going to do and how unfair it was, it'll take a full hour plus. It doesn't actually help them in any way. The best thing that you can do is you can sit down with them and say, hey, Bob, I know we've met twice in the last 6 weeks to try to fix these issues and talk about them. This did not turn out to be a good fit for you and a good fit for the company. Now look at how careful the language is there. It did not turn out to be a good fit for you. It did not turn out to be a good fit for the company. And for those reasons, we're separating employment with you today. We're going to be giving you your last check. It's going to include all your vacation pay. And we hope that you find something that's a better fit for you going forward. Now, if you watch what just happened, I just let somebody go and it took about a minute. I didn't go into reasons. I didn't go into the past stuff. That's all documented already in 2 different write-ups, right? So here, just to review it, because it went so quick, I'll give it to you again. Bob, I know that we talked a lot in the last 6 weeks to try to get things turned around, but this did not turn out to be a good fit for you. It did not turn out to be a good fit for the company. And for those reasons, we're going to be releasing your employment today. We're going to be giving you your last check with all of your hours, and we wish you the best and hope that you can find a job that is a better fit for you going forward. It's about 30 seconds, wasn't it? It was very quick. Now, other things will come up, questions will come up, but remember, you beleaguer the point, meaning you can extend this out forever to your own peril and say something that you shouldn't say accidentally or make it even harder on them. Short, to the point, concise, and honest is the best. That is the way that you progressively discipline someone. That is the way that you release someone from employment. It's never fun. It's never a good experience for either party. And believe me, remember something, always be hyper respectful to them, because no matter how bad a day this is for you having to let them go, it is a worse day for them because they are losing their income. So always be very respectful. If you have any questions or if you have any tips to let somebody go or discipline people that have worked well for you, put them in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other.